One of the hardest things about being a hairstylist is how personal the experience is. So, as a hairstylist, you are very close in contact with other people. You are right on them, you're on their heads, like right near them. And in time, I feel like I've learned that this is like a sacred process or a spiritual process that you're going through with the client. And that might just be my background of spirituality or maybe just my own personal experience. But I also recognize that a lot of hairstylists that I know also have some type of spiritual background. I'm doing my daughter's hair, and she's 6, but sometimes they be doing stuff. But yeah, I think that when you're a hairstylist, it can be a spiritual experience or up close and personal, a very intimate experience. And so since it is that type of intimacy, your clients feel bonded with you, you feel bonded with your clients. And even sometimes before they even get to your chair, it's personal. It's very hard to separate business from personal being a hairstylist. It's a hard thing to do. And in time, I have learned how to separate the two. That doesn't mean that I'm always perfect when it comes to separating it or drawing the line, but I feel like I've kind of come to a very good medium balance. So what's reminded me of this is recently I had a client who got a service done that I don't often do anymore because I've kind of transitioned to a different way of doing the extensions. Y'all know I love K-tips, and so that's pretty much what I do, like K-tips, sew-ins, silk presses and things like that. But I've kept this option on the menu because I do like the look of them, and I don't hate them, I just love K-tips more. So I kept this option on my menu, and somebody recently booked. They were actually having me do somebody else's work, or go over somebody else's work that they have messed up on. And so I felt that, this service would be okay for me to handle because I was redoing something that somebody fixed or fixing something that somebody messed up. And so usually when those services happen, it's an opportunity for a client to have an amazing experience, and then they're like, you get them forever because they're like, oh, you did my hair so much better than this person. So anyway, long story short, this lady reached out to me and she's telling me basically how the extensions weren't working for her. Mind you, this client is a lot. Okay, she is just a lot energetically. She knows she's a lot. During the service, she even said that I know that I'm a lot to people. Like, she is a lot. And when it comes to that, sometimes when you're taking on these people to sit in your chair and have this experience with, that is intimate. It's not like I don't have a storefront. I run a salon suite in a building. So it's really, really intimate. It's not the same experience that you would have kind of in the storefront, I feel. But regardless of wherever it is that you're working, I think this does apply. And even so, more so if you're working like at home or if you're going to people's houses, these type of things do have to apply. So in moments of like those with clients like that, you do have to use some type of discretion and discernment. And so basically I've been trying to decide recently whether or not I still want to take this lady on as a client. Now initially after the service, I was like, I don't think I want to take this client on anymore because of the conversations that we are having, the experience that we're having. A big red flag to me is if somebody doesn't want to go through the booking process. I don't feel any more guilt about taking somebody to the website and say, hey, book on there. Now, if it is a loyal client, if they have been coming to me for some years, they have my personal number and they hit me up, and I know that they're going to show up, and I know that they have, reliable trustworthiness, then I might be more willing to go about it a different route, manually put it in. I don't have to send them an invoice for the deposit, but most times I still do. And, take them through the process where I manually enter everything. But I have removed myself from the guilt of feeling like, oh, well, this person doesn't know how to they don't know how to navigate my website or things like that. I just don't feel any personal responsibility for that anymore because I am a solopreneur. Like, it's just me. I don't have time. I have a daughter. There's things that I can't really do to that level. I don't have an assistant yet. I don't have anybody who's specifically picking up the phone calls. It's all me. And so sometimes I have to balance what this means to me or how much this matters to me. So I just wanted to encourage you that, there are going to be some situations that you're going to have where it's going to mix personal and business. And what I mean by that, I can still use this client. She's wanting to get this service she's not really happy about the aftermath of the service. She does have some fallout, which is typical, but she wants to kind of know where I want to go from here. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I'm just like, you know what, at this point, what I can do is offer you the service that I've been doing for everybody else, which is the K-tips or a sew-in, or we can do a different method. You can get tape-ins. Why? Because that at the top of the year was on the list of my goals of services that I wanted to offer, because that is the direction that I'm going in, right? So that kind of creates this moment where it's like, dang, do I, bend to her needs, or do I stay true to my goals? And so what I'm trying to suggest to you, and even to myself, is that you have to stay true to your goals. It sucks. It sucks. Because when you have your goals, when you have your business, and you're running your business the way you run it, sometimes things are going to come up that kind of have you bending this way. And I'm not opposed to bending a little bit, but I think that sometimes it can absolutely get out of hand. So what that might look like for you is if you have set business hours, which I highly suggest. There are some circumstances that I think maybe you should try to accommodate and appease clients, right? But for the most part, if you have your business hours, then you have to stay true to those. And for me, if I go outside of my business hours, then I do have to charge an extra fee if it aligns with my schedule. But there are some things that I just can't do. I have a daughter. I don't want to bring her in here and have her all uncomfortable for the days just for a $50 extra fee. Like, it's just not worth it to me. But those are some things that you have to keep in mind. So that, using that example, okay, outside of your business hours, you're charging an extra fee for certain hours. Now, the client may or may not hear that and feel offended, because they're like, you can't just stay longer? Do I have to pay Do I have to pay extra because you're working after 6 o'clock? You know what I mean? That's how they feel. And it's justifiable. It is worthy of being heard. But make no mistake about it, if most of your clientele can fit within your business hours and everybody else is okay with it except for this one person, they're either going to have to get in line or they're going to have to pay extra, and that's just what it is. And so those are the type of situations that you're going to run into as a hairstylist that are going to make you kind of question, like, am I staying true to my business goals, or am I taking something personal? Another great example of this is how you accept payment. So I don't accept Cash App anymore unless it's a tip. Like, if you want to leave me a tip on Cash App, who cares? The tip, I'm sure you're not going to leave me a $500 tip, so it's not a big deal. But for me, I don't take any other forms of payment besides cash and credit card, and they have to go through the Square merchant. So that means I can send them an invoice and they can pay that way, or they can pay on the website, or they can pay, through my booking platform. Those are the only way that I accept payments. Why? Because on the back end, taxes. Taxes will eat you up. And I learned, having all these different streams of sources of payments really mess you up. From the fees to just filing your taxes, and you don't know where all of your money is, and then you don't have a good funnel as to where your money is getting flowed. You taking Cash App, you taking Zelle, you taking what's the other one? I can't remember. I want to say Spotify, but it's not Spotify. The one with the S. You taking the one with the S. You taking cash, then you taking credit card, then you taking Afterpay, then you taking Klarna. That's what, 6 alone? And they all have their different fees. You don't know what all the fees are, or if you do, you probably don't know what all the fees are, and so you're probably not able to recuperate that, or you're not able to transfer that onto the client. That's something that you should think about. That's a business-minded decision, and I get it. Your clients may or may not like that. Oh, she don't take Cash App? No. You know what I mean? So it's just like, there are situations that happen to where you're going to have to separate business from personal. Let me see if I can think of another one. I am getting to the point, I think it'll probably be my goal for next year for sure. I'm going to go ahead and ride it out for the rest of the year, the summer, the back to school, the holidays and all that. But next year for sure, your girl going to say, you can't come to me and bring your hair from the house. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. You cannot bring hair from off the street. I just do that because I recognize that some of the people who want to come get their hair done by me, some of them come from Google. And so when they come from Google, what I've learned is that a lot of them have no idea what a sew-in is. They have no idea what the hair is. They don't know nothing. They just want their hair done. And I kind of am like, okay, cool. We're going to give this a year trial. We've given it 5-year trial, but we're going to give it this last year and try to figure out what it is that people are needing, because this is like a trial run. So since I do know that most of the people who call from Google, they're essentially like a walk-in without walking in, they're a call-in. You're finding me on Google, and I obviously ask them, when they come, okay, you found me on Google, what'd you search? When you, oh, I searched hairstylists in the areas who could do sew-ins. Okay, got it. So you found me from a sew-in on Google. You don't know anything about sew-ins, and so, okay, cool, you want to bring hair from the beauty supply store, cool, but there's an opportunity for learning and education in there, unfortunately. So it's no different than this year with me specializing, like, okay, I'm doing K-tips, I'm doing tape-ins. Sometimes what comes with that is you have to educate your clientele on why they want it, right? So you're saying that you want versatility and you want more hair and you want your hair to look a certain way. Got it. You think the only way that you can get that is a quick weave. No, ma'am, you can get a sew-in. Or, okay, you think the only way that you can get that is a sew-in. No, you can get tape-ins and they'll be more versatile. They'll actually lay a lot flatter, look more natural. You can get K-tips and it's gonna last you a lot longer. They don't know. You have to educate them. So it's no difference than when they come in wanting to get a sew-in, but they have their hair from the beauty supply store. Cool. You want to do that? Got it. But now I'm going to educate you on why. Okay, my phone died, but I was basically in the middle of just explaining how you can educate your clients on different things that you offer now. But in a nutshell, what I want to say with wrapping it up is to learn the difference between business and personal. And sometimes there are different circumstances where you can bend the rules, but I would be very, very careful and cautious of what rule you're bending, who you're bending it for, and why. And then you have to be careful of how often you're bending these rules, because clients will take advantage. Because when if I went to Old Navy and they was like, we'll just give you the discount this time, but I'm gonna give you the 50% discount. And every time I come, they're like, I'm gonna give you the 50% discount. I'm gonna be expecting that 50% discount the next time that I come, and I'm for sure gonna say, last time I was here, Danny told me that I could get a 50% discount. It works the same way. We'll all take advantage of something if we can, and so just be mindful of that in your hairstylist journeys. Hope this helps. Have a great day.